Infinite universes means infinite possibilities, and some of the ones are good, and others are bad. But who cares about the good ones, because today we're focusing on the worst ones within DC Comics. This is part 3 of the worst alternate universes in DC. And again, I'd like to reiterate to anyone new joining us, when I say the worst alternate universes, I don't necessarily mean that the story is bad. I mean, sometimes the story is bad, but usually these timelines just have a lot of bad things that happen. You know, these are timelines you wouldn't want to live in, such as the timeline we're currently living in right now. I'd say that's, you know, it's a pretty bad timeline. There's probably a much better timeline out there, you know, probably one where I'm more handsome. Now, the first alternate universe we're going to go over is the Dark Knight Returns universe. This storyline takes place in the same year that it was written, which is 1986. So this is a 40-year-old storyline. We open with Bruce driving a car in a race. He pushes the car too hard and it ends up on fire. He thinks to himself that this would be a good way to die, but he ends up surviving with minor injuries. Seems like it was just a way for him to catch some thrills, as it's revealed that he's been retired from being Batman for 10 years, which in retrospect doesn't even sound like it's that long, but for some reason in the storyline, they say that the younger generation thinks that Batman is a myth. Now, I don't understand how everyone in Gotham seems to have short-term memory loss. Like, 10 years isn't even that long of a time. And you're telling me people already think that Batman doesn't exist just because he hasn't been operating for 10 years? Like, imagine Gangnam Style got removed from the internet and everyone just thought that the entire music video, the entire song was just a myth, like it never existed. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. This dude has been fighting crime for so long, and you're telling me that just because he hasn't been operating for 10 years, everyone thinks he's not real? What? Bruce and Commissioner Jim Gordon are sharing a drink. Turns out Gordon is retiring soon. And through their conversation, it's revealed that Dick has not talked to Bruce in over 7 years. He walks out into the streets of Gotham and he's disgusted by the state of it. Nothing has changed. It's still as shit as it's always been. In fact, it's probably even more shitty since he's not operating as Batman anymore. He stands under a lamppost and starts reminiscing about his time as Batman when a group of thugs try to attack him. They're part of a new gang slowly taking over Gotham called the Mutants. Bruce readies himself for a fight, but they back off, saying that he's too into it and that murdering people is not fun if they're not defenseless and scared. So they decide to leave him and go to the arcade instead. Yeah, you know what? Let's not kill him. Let's just go gaming instead. Bruh. We then cut to Arkham Asylum, where we see that Harvey Dent has gotten mentally rehabilitated as well as facial surgery to remove the Two-Face persona. Joker is also seen to be in a catatonic state. Harvey is deemed cured and released out into the public, where he makes a statement on the news saying that he's going to try and atone for his sins. And later we see a masked criminal return to a goon hideout. Gee, surely this isn't Harvey, guys, you know. Surely he's not evil again still, because he just got cured, right? Surely this guy who is a criminal is surely not him, right? It's totally not him. Also, later that night, Bruce has a nightmare about falling into the Batcave when he was a child. This prompts him to get up and go to the Batcave, where he looks at Jason Todd's old suit. It turns out that Jason's death was the cause of his retirement, as it reminds him of the promise he made to himself to never do it again. He tries to unwind by watching TV, but he sees the Mask of Zorro movie, which triggers his PTSD of the night his parents died. So he tries to flip the channel, but he keeps getting flashbanged by horrible news reports of crime. All of these signs finally frustrate him enough to return to his role as Batman. I have no idea why Frank Miller decided to draw Batman like this in the Dark Knight Returns storyline, but bro is built like a tank. And speaking of tanks, this video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. With more than 2,500 different tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations from all periods of time. From biplanes and shoddy armored cars of World War I to modern MBTs and jets of today, you can pick what grinds your gears. Each vehicle is intricately modeled down to its individual components. With one of the most sophisticated vehicle damage models in gaming, the engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew are all susceptible to damage. The attention to detail is crazy. Even the different types of armor, shells, and missiles all behave like their real-world counterparts. But perhaps my favorite part of War Thunder is that I can look good while playing it. it because it features an impressive customization system with camouflages, historical markings, and decorations for all types of vehicles. They even have community created options. Sign up today using my links in the description and join a community of over 95 million players. New and returning players on PC and console who haven't played in 6 months will also receive a huge bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account status. This offer is only available for a limited time, so don't miss out. Anyways, back to the story. He goes out that night and stops various crimes during a thunderstorm. So you're telling me it just so happens to be a dark and stormy night, specifically the same night that he decides to return as Batman? Like, what are the odds, bro? He really just had to wait specifically for a dark and stormy night just so he could aura farm on us. And one of the crimes he stopped included a mutant attack on a schoolgirl named Carrie. We are then treated to several panels of Batman meticulously taking out a group of thugs, including his entire thought process throughout the fight. And he finds that one of them was carrying a marked coin. Who sent these guys? Who could be behind this? No, guys, you don't understand. We don't have conclusive evidence that the guy orchestrating all of this crime is actually Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face. Anything you see is just a coincidence. I mean, this guy was literally cured. The scratched coin, the covered up face, you know, this could be anyone. This could be a like scratched coin man for all we know. All the while, Joker is watching the news report about the return of Batman, and he starts giggling like a kid on Christmas at the sight of his sweet Bat Senpai. The leader of the mutant gang makes death threats to Gordon and Batman, claiming that Gotham is theirs for the taking. So Gordon lights up the bat signal calling for Batman, and they discuss how they're gonna stop the guy who was behind the coin incident. And Batman says, you know, we don't know if it's Harvey yet. And Gordon's like, come on, bro, we all know it's Harvey, come on. World's greatest detective, by the way. It turns out the bad guy stole 2 helicopters and rigged them with bombs to blow up both of Gotham's twin towers. And he's asking for a ransom of $5 million, which adjusted for today would be $15 million. Now, $15 million sounds like a lot until you realize that he's literally gonna blow up 2 gigantic buildings. So, honestly, when you put it that way, 15 million doesn't seem like a lot. Like I would think you'd be asking for more money than 15 million. Considering all of the damage that you're going to cause. I mean, I feel like you have a little more leeway. Like, I feel like you should negotiate more money, honestly. Batman is able to stop him, however, and it's revealed that even though his face was fixed, the Two-Face persona had completely taken over his mind. So it looks like this doctor sucks at his job. A news channel reports that there's a group advocating for the arrest of Batman, believing him to be a bad influence on the youth, and another group asking to sanction his vigilante activities. And ironically, the news reporter also reports that Commissioner Gordon has killed a 17-year-old member of the mutant gang after he attacked him. Wow. I can't believe Batman would influence that gang member like that. And then we see Carrie put on a Robin suit and climb out of her apartment. Wow, I can't believe Batman would influence a teenager like that. We also see the mutants rob an old lady. She spent the last of her money buying art supplies for her child, and luckily none of the mutant members stole it, so she was still able to keep the art supplies. Unfortunately, they also handed her a bomb, so she exploded. I can't believe Batman would influence the bomb to explode an old lady. What an evil bastard. Please lock him up immediately. And the new police commissioner that's replacing Jim Gordon is announced to be Ellen Yandel. Carrie overhears that the mutants are holding a meeting later and heads there. It turns out it's the junkyard. Wow, what a great place to meet up. Batman hops in the Batmobile to follow the mutants to their meeting spot, and he just begins blasting them. I think of you, Dick. Hey, yo, hold up. The last one left standing after Batman's rampage is the mutant leader. That ain't a Batmobile, man. That's a machine designed for killing. That shit looks like Sparky from Clash Royale, bro. And he taunts Batman, challenging him to a fight. Batman's sitting in his Batmobile staring at the mutant leader, thinking to himself about how nice his body is, and that he probably wouldn't be able to take him. Hey yo, bro, hold up, bro. But Batman decides that he will fight him man to man, even though he's old and that guy's young and strong, because he's having a hard time resisting the urge to just kill him with the Batmobile. So he hops out the whip and begins to get his ass beat by the mutant leader as Carrie watches from a distance. Turns out he's no match for the young man's physique and power. Looks like he's getting a little too old there. And as Batman is getting his cheeks clapped, all he can think about is dick. But before the mutant leader can finish Batman off, oh man, Carrie intervenes before it's too late. She carries him to the Batmobile and it heads to the Batcave. We then cut to the president telling Superman to talk to Batman to make him stop because he's making him look bad. The police arrive to the junkyard and they apprehend the defeated mutants. The mayor then announces that he will attempt to negotiate with the captured mutant leader. Meanwhile, some loonies commit shootings wearing Batman costumes. I can't believe Batman would influence these people like this. The mutant leader specifically wants to negotiate with the mayor alone, and Gordon escorts the mayor to go talk to him. And before the mayor walks through the door, Gordon's like, "Are you sure you want to do this alone?" And the mayor's like, "Yeah, it'll be fine." So the door closes and Gordon hears handcuffs breaking followed by screaming. So he busts down the door and it turns out that the mutant leader took a big old bite out of the mayor's throat and ripped it out. Horrified by the scene, Gordon tries to shoot the mutant leader, but some random officer runs over and intervenes, stopping Gordon from pulling the trigger. So they return the leader to a cell. Back at the Batcave, Bruce has recovered enough from his injuries, which makes Carrie super happy, so she goes to hug him. Except he's butt naked in this panel, so this is a child, by the way. A weird panel. I don't like it. Oh, and despite the mayor literally dying a horrific death at the hands of the mutant leader when he falsely said he wanted to negotiate, they announced that they're still open to negotiating with him, and they wonder why Gotham has so much crime still. Batman then devises a plan to lure all the mutant members in one area so he can humiliate their leader in front of them all. So Carrie dresses up like a mutant member to rally everyone, and Gordon sets the leader free by causing a power outage. The leader crawls through a vent and eventually falls out of a pipe into a bunch of mud. And once everything is set, Batman proceeds to do the straightest thing known to man, and he wrestles the leader in the mud. He fights the leader in the mud and uses the mud to his advantage, which allows him to win. This causes the mutant gang to splinter off, with some of the members converting to Batman's cause, now going by the name of the Sons of Batman. Batman is now undercover as a grandma, trying to stop a crime being committed by, Superman swings by, stops the conflict, and he schedules a meeting with Bruce. Meanwhile, the Sons of the Batman were reported to have killed a drug dealer and junkie, and then they cut them into pieces. Hey, Batman, you want to maybe tell them to, I don't know, be a little less psychotic? I don't think this is a good look for you, man, honestly. Batman and Robin begin following another lead they have when Robin gets impatient disobeying a direct order from Batman, causing a building to explode. And it turns out the person behind this trap was the Joker, and he's getting released the next day. I don't think I'll ever grasp fully how stupid this city is. Like, how do they just keep making such poor decisions? How is it not, how is the entire city not burned down to a pile of ash at this point with how dumb the government seems to be in the city? Bruce and Clark have their meeting and Clark tells him that he needs to stop or else he'll be ordered to stop him himself. And Bruce just says, okay, let the best man win. Yo, why is Alfred's head shaped like that? By the way, this entire time, the doctor who rehabilitated Harvey Dent has also supposedly rehabilitated the Joker. That's why Joker's getting released. He's also been ragging on Batman, saying that he's a psychopath whose obsession with crime has been the cause for all of the crime, basically saying that the villains only act that way because of Batman's existence. I guess you could argue that Batman ends up creating villains, but that still doesn't address why there was so much crime in the 10-year period that Batman was gone still. So your little theory doesn't make any fucking sense at all. You idiot fuck, you're stupid. At this point, I realize that this comic kinda sucks, actually. So the Joker gets released and he appears on a talk show, and wouldn't you guys guess, he kills everyone on there. 206 people, to be precise. He kills 206 people immediately after getting released, including the doctor who supposedly cured him. How many times do we have to teach Gotham City this lesson? Never release the Joker, especially when Batman is around. The Joker then goes to Selena Kyle, who is running an escort business, and he threatens her to go along with his plan, in which he uses mind control lipstick to make one of the escorts brainwash a congressman into ordering nuclear strikes against the Soviet Union. Yes, that's right, guys, because this entire time there's been an underlying side plot where America and the Soviet Union were at odds with each other over Corto Maltese, which is a fictional South American country. Because as you know, guys, this comic took place in the 80s, and during the 80s was the Cold War, where the two global superpowers of America and the Soviet Union were fighting with each other over control of the world because of their differing views, and people were scared that they would utilize nuclear technology to fight each other, except we all know that never happened. And it was at this specific point that the story started losing me. Batman goes to the scene of the crime on the Congressman, and he overhears the police talking about the Joker and Selina Kyle's escort business. So he rushes to go find Selina, only to find her tied up in a Wonder Woman costume. He frees her and she tells him that Joker is headed for the county fair next. At the county fair, Joker is handing out a bunch of cotton candy to children, which ends up killing them. Yeah, that's right. This comic book just showed children getting killed. That's what a great comic book this is, guys. In case it wasn't dark and gritty and twisted enough for you. Now, I don't understand how he keeps getting away with these mass killing crimes. Like, the Joker is infamous in Gotham City. I feel like with the amount of crime that this man has caused and the amount of chaos and, PTSD that he has given to all of these Gotham City residents, I feel like everyone at this point should know what this guy looks like. It's like Hitler, right? He did so many terrible things, and he was known for rocking a specific mustache style, which you still cannot use to this day. He has forever ruined this mustache style for all of history. So by that same logic, I would feel like clowns would be banned from Gotham City. Like, this dude has done all of this crime dressed up as a clown. So I would feel like they just would outlaw clowns completely in Gotham City, because they don't want any like lookalikes or copycats. Like, you would think working as a clown would cause PTSD for a lot of people in that city. Anyways, Batman confronts the Joker and decides that tonight will be the night
that I will fall for you.
And he throws a batarang into Joker's eye. Meanwhile, Robin is trying to keep the henchman busy. Joker tries to flee, and while he's running away, he shoots more people dead. And Batman chases him down into the Tunnel of Love. Hey, you guys remember how Robin was fighting off that henchman earlier? Well, he's dead because he fell onto the tracks of the roller coaster, the sight of which caused significant emotional scarring on Robin. Bear in mind, she's still a child, and she literally saw this dude get splattered on railway tracks. Batman is gonna kick your ass.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Hey, watch your language. Batman grabs a hold of the Joker and then gets stabbed like 78 times, but not before he's able to snap his neck. Oh my gosh, guys, has Batman finally done it? He's finally killed someone? He killed the Joker? Nope, he didn't. He just ended up paralyzing him. The Joker expresses his disappointment with Batman's decision, claiming that this would have been the perfect moment, and he decides to take his own life himself by twisting his body until it snapped. That's not how that works, guys. You can't do that. That's physically impossible. I don't understand how he did that. The police start closing in on Batman, and he makes his escape by burning the Joker's body as a distraction and then blowing up the tunnel. They're after him because the new commissioner made an order to capture him. Batman radios to Robin and they make their escape back to the Batcave. Oh yeah, and remember that conflict with the US and Soviet Union over Corto Maltese? Well, the Russians got salty that they lost because the US deployed Superman, so they decided to fire a nuclear warhead designed to disrupt the electromagnetic field, but Superman was able to redirect the explosion into an uninhabited desert. But since it disrupted the electromagnetic field, it caused massive blackouts in the entire northern hemisphere, including Gotham City, which causes the city to devolve into chaos. Batman gets on a horse and rides with Robin to the dump, where the sons of the Batman are gathered. They were gonna launch an attack on Gotham to cleanse it, but Batman gave them a speech and gained control of them. He basically said that guns are for weaklings and that in time he'll teach them his ways, but for now they're only going to use their fists and their brains. Meanwhile, the remaining mutant gang members who got locked up are escaping from prison. Gordon is also caught up in the city's chaos while he's trying to find his wife and kid. Let's check in on Superman real quick. Yeah, seems like tanking that nuclear blast has zapped most of the life out of him. He starts pleading with the Earth itself as if it's a person. Batman intercepts the escaped mutant gang members, and he rallies them to his cause. And with his group of vigilantes, they begin restoring order by subduing the violent citizens. Some time passes and nuclear winter begins settling as the effects of the warhead continue damaging the northern hemisphere. But amidst all of the panic, it's revealed that Gotham is actually now the safest city in America due to Batman and his vigilante crew. However, this makes the president look bad, so he orders Superman to deal with Batman. Bruce is talking with Oliver, aka Green Arrow, who is thrown in prison by Superman for being a non-compliant vigilante. And knowing what's about to go down, Oliver asks Bruce for one thing. When they fight, he wants a piece of him. Superman sends Bruce a message with his lasers, and Bruce tells him to meet him at Crime Alley, and he begins preparing for the final showdown. Superman shows up to that alley, and Batman begins peppering him with missiles to test how strong he is after the nuclear blast. And it seems like he's a little slower than usual, so Batman hits him with a blast from a sonic gun, causing his nose to bleed. They begin exchanging blows, but Superman is Superman, and despite being in a suit of armor, Batman gets his ass kicked. But it turns out this was all just a distraction, because Oliver was actually posted up hiding, waiting for the perfect moment to shoot a kryptonite arrow at Superman. Batman starts wailing on Superman all while talking shit to him, telling him to remember the one man who bested him, but then he gets a heart attack and dies. And at the same time, Alfred begins exploding all of Wayne Manor, and then he just fucking falls over and dies too. A newscast reports that Batman is dead and his identity was revealed to be Bruce Wayne, and that Wayne Manor has exploded but his fortune has mysteriously disappeared. Clark attends Bruce's funeral, and just as it's about to wrap up, he hears Bruce's heart begin beating and he smiles. Turns out the whole heart attack thing was a trick. Alfred is still dead as hell though. I mean, that was real. That when Alfred fell over and died, that was real. He actually died. He's actually dead. He's gone. In a cave, Bruce is seen training and creating an army to carry out the crime fighting for him. This dude really said, one child soldier? Nah, that's not enough. We need an entire child army. And that was the end of the Dark Knight Returns storyline. Now, as iconic as the storyline is, I feel like it's done irreparable damage to the character of Batman as a whole. There's no way that Batman is ever beating Superman. If Superman genuinely wants to kill this guy or incapacitate him, he's not winning this fight. This storyline was one of the first big instances of prep time. Basically this storyline created the entire prep time argument that Batman can beat anyone with prep time, which I feel is just, plot armor, really. I mean, I know they need to give Batman something because he's just a normal human. They need to give him a way to keep up with all the other superpowered people. But in turn, it's created so many Batman fanboys that believe that Batman can do literally anything. With the way that modern Batman is written nowadays, I'm pretty sure he could beat Jesus in a fight if he prep timed enough. Anyways, the next storyline we have is JLA The Nail. A nail causes the Kents to have a flat tire on their truck, which in turn makes it so they never discovered baby Superman's ship crash landing. Fast forward to the present, and Lex Luthor is mayor of Metropolis, and he decides to ban all superheroes and vigilantes from operating in the city. It turns out Metropolis has been thriving under Lex's administration. Jimmy Olsen, who has operated under 3 different superhero identities and has even fought alongside the Justice League, is Lex's right-hand man, and he goes on the news to explain why he's changed his stance on metahumans. On the news, they also welcome special guest and ex-Justice League member Oliver Queen. I have no idea why they keep using Green Arrow in these storylines. But anyways, he was severely injured after a fight with Aizon. He starts ranting like a lunatic, and he claims that the Justice League are alien invaders who are taking over humanity, making us believe that we need them by fighting their own. The Justice League sees this broadcast and begin bickering with each other until Batman puts his fist down. He suggests that this was just anti-meta-human propaganda trying to take them down. Green Lantern agrees and reveals the true reason why he called everyone in for this meeting. He tells them that he's hired accredited journalist Lois Lane to help sway the negative public opinion. We then jump to Black Canary, who left the Justice League after the Aizon incident. She formed her own team called the Outsiders, and they gathered together to check in on their fellow teammate Metamorpho, who hasn't checked in for 2 months. The Justice League start theorizing who's behind the anti-metahuman movement, and they start talking about why Luthor is so successful in the first place. It's because Metropolis never had a metahuman defender to begin with. Meanwhile, over at Arkham Asylum, Catwoman has turned herself in because she wants to reform so she can get with Batman. Suddenly, the Joker breaks in. Yeah, that's right, he breaks in to Arkham Asylum. with a pair of gauntlet weapons. Batman is alerted about the commotion and he rushes to respond, saying that he'll handle this himself, causing the meeting to be adjourned. The members all go their separate ways and Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman have a quick chat. He tells her that because of all the hysteria going around, he's gonna go into hiding until it subsides. The Doom Patrol are then kidnapped and captured by a mysterious group of people. Back over at Arkham, there's now an impenetrable force field surrounding the entire asylum. The force field only allows Batman, Batgirl, and Robin to pass through it, so figuring that it's a trap, Batman tells the others to stay put as he enters. We then cut to Green Lantern, and while charging his ring, he notices that its powers are weakened. So he flies up into space to try and figure out what's going on, and he finds that there's an impenetrable force field surrounding the entirety of Earth, as well as Adam Strange's corpse, who he assumed died trying to teleport back to Earth. Fearing the worst, Hal sends an SOS out to the rest of the Green Lanterns. Back at Arkham, Catwoman is fighting off the other villains when Batman shows up. Him and Joker begin fighting, but then Joker captures Batman with his gauntlets, though he's not having any fun with their fight because he wanted Robin and Batgirl to be there. But then the Joker's wish is immediately granted because Robin and Batgirl jump in to join the fight. Joker immediately snatches them up and he tells Batman that he wants him to suffer and experience the same pain and mental anguish that Batman has been putting him through for all of these years. Now I don't know if I'm just tripping, but I feel like Joker would never say this ever. From all of the different adaptations and storylines that I've read and seen of the Joker, he doesn't blame Batman for, you know, trauma or causing him physical, emotional distress. Like, he doesn't blame him for that. He just likes tangling with Batman because it gives him a purpose in life, basically, to act psychotic. You know, all his psychotic actions are to get the attention of Batman. It's like a fun game for him. Why he would never say this? Am I tripping or something? Like, did I miss something? Like, was there a revamp in the Joker's motives or something? Like, why is he saying this? Anyways, Batman pleads with the Joker to let them go, but the Joker kills them in front of him in a brutal fashion. Meanwhile, Darkseid is declaring war on New Genesis because he believes they were responsible for the force field on Earth, which caused the death of some of his troops when they tried to teleport using the boom tubes. Yeah, I know, a lot of shit's going on in the storyline. It's kind of poorly paced, actually. It's kind of pissing me off a little bit with how terribly paced this storyline is. Like, we're going here, now we're going there. We're going to this character, this side plot, this thing's happening. Oh, this thing's happening now too. Now we're back to the original character we were focusing on. Now we're over here, and my brain's gonna explode. Catwoman attacks Joker from behind, which frees up Batman, and in an enraged state, he breaks Joker's gauntlets, and their fighting takes them up to the rooftop where they're met with news cameras. Later on, a newscast reveals that Arkham exploded, killing everybody in it, pinning the blame on Batman. Though Batman was able to survive and save Catwoman, taking her to the Batcave. This incident causes the Justice League to meet up for discussion, but they're down a few members as Hawkgirl has decided to stop intervening with human affairs, and Aquaman's excuse is that the media will see him as an outsider because he's not human enough because he's a fish guy. So the remaining members decide that they're going to split up to find ways to deal with the public opinion and to find the cause of the force fields. We also see that the entire Green Lantern Corps is preoccupied with the war that Darkseid has started, so none of them are able to respond to Hal's SOS he sent earlier. And speaking of Hal, he's visiting John, aka Martian Manhunter, and he's trying to convince him to help, saying that his shape-shifting abilities would be perfect for finding the culprit behind everything. The Flash goes to check on every major villain lair he can think of to find some evidence of the culprit, but they're all empty. That is until he checks in on Ra's al Ghul and finds that he's getting attacked by Amazo. Amazo then tries to aura farm by saying that he has the powers of every superhero you could ever think of, but the Flash doesn't give a shit. He one-shots him by sticking his vibrating hand into his head to remove his brain. The Flash asks Ra's about this attack, but he gives him a cryptic answer saying that there's a master strategist behind this who will pit them all against one another just like he did for the villains, and to trust no one. Anyways, let's check in on Batman. Yeah, so apparently he killed the Joker on live TV and hasn't said anything since the incident. Meanwhile, the Atom decided to sneak into the Thinker's base to find some evidence, only to stumble upon his dead body. It seems like the Thinker discovered something and was killed for it. And meanwhile, Lewis is going to meet... God, so much shit going on in this fucking story, man. Meanwhile, Lewis is meeting up with an old colleague of hers when Metamorpho begins attacking. He kills kills Lewis's colleague and injures Lex Luthor in the process. And though his injuries appear minor, it seems that Luthor has something going on with his brain. Lewis is skeptical that a hero like Metamorpho would be a part of this whole alien invader thing, saying that there must be some reason behind it. But Jimmy tells her that there's a government facility near Smallville where she'll find the evidence of the alien invaders. And as if there wasn't already like 20 million things going on at the same time, we then cut to Aquaman, who sees Orm fighting a human vessel. Aquaman tries to put a stop to it, but Orm claims that it was capturing aquatic life, so Mera blasts it open and they confirm that it's true. However, before they can do anything else, missiles are shot at them, which causes them to get knocked out and captured. Let's check in on Batman again. Oh yay, now we're at Green Lantern and he's getting framed for destroying a building. Finally, we're back to the Outsiders. Oh boy, and they get beaten up by someone. Who I don't know who that guy is. And yippee, we're back to Lewis. She's visiting the government facility. Here we see that they're holding a bunch of metahumans captive, claiming that they're aliens. Lewis expresses her hesitation with covering the story. While she's touring the building, she leaves the building saying that she'll think about it. And before leaving, Lana Lang shakes her hand, thanking her for stopping by, but she secretly handed her a note telling her to go to Kent's farm for the truth. And now we cut to Metamorpho, who's still running amok, but Martian Manhunter is able to swoop in. He was disguised as a woman trying to get a job at LexCorp. Metamorpho tells him that they made him do it. Then he disintegrates. The soldiers he was fighting then try to arrest Martian Manhunter, but he subdues them and finds that they have a LexCorp logo on their armor, so he goes to find Luthor. And now we're cutting to Lewis, who's going to the Kent farm, and it's revealed that they have been secretly rescuing heroes from the alien facility. Oh, and now we're back to Martian Manhunter, and he's blasted by Starro. What is Starro behind all of this? Now, it was at this point that I just started crashing out from reading the storyline, because it's this pacing, I just can't deal with the pacing. It's just so bad. It's like, why, like, my neck is breaking, like, with this character. Oh, we're looking at this character. Oh, what's this character doing now? Oh, we're back to this character. Now we're in a new character. We're looking at the perspective of a new character. Like, bro. And now we cut to Wonder Woman, who went to meet the president at the White House, but she's stuck waiting. They suspect that she might be an alien, so she leaves in disappointment. Then the White House explodes. She's then attacked by the Metal Men, who have been reprogrammed. She takes them all down, but is knocked out by a Liberator robot. Wonder Woman is then framed for the White House explosion, and the Liberators are deployed by Lex to capture all metahumans. We now cut to Hawkgirl, and she's leaving for her home planet. And as she's leaving, riots are happening across the city. She spots some children who are trapped in a fire, and she can't help but to save them. A crowd then gathers around her, supporting her and dispelling the propaganda, but then she's knocked out and captured by a Liberator. Back at the Batcave, Alfred, Selina, and Bruce are figuring out a plan. And using Hawkman's records, Bruce is able to deduce that the being behind all of this has a connection to Krypton, and that the weapon the Joker was using was Kryptonian. Ugh. Green Lantern breaks into the alien facility and gets attacked by Liberators, and it's revealed that they're clones of Superman. Meanwhile, Lewis goes to meet Jimmy and holds him at gunpoint, unsure if she can trust him, and she demands that he take her to see Luthor. It's revealed that Luthor is in a catatonic state when Starro appears. Wait, that's not Starro, it's Crypto. What? It turns out the entire time the true mastermind behind everything was actually Jimmy Olsen. Oh my gosh. Anyways, cut to Green Lantern and he's getting captured, but it turns out that he was just a distraction for the Flash and the Atom to sneak in. They attempt to try and release the JLA, only to get spotted by the Liberators. However, they're saved by Batman and Catwoman, who are using Kryptonian weapons. Now back over to Lewis, it turns out that Superman's crashed ship was discovered by Lex. No one was found in it, but there were trace amounts of Kryptonian DNA. This was all kept a secret, and Lex used the DNA to create a Bizarro clone. The clone was stupid, but it had a lot of power, though it eventually died. Lex became obsessed with harnessing this power, so he wanted to graft the DNA to himself. But as a safety precaution, he used human guinea pigs first. All of these attempts failed as the subject eventually disintegrated and died. After failing multiple times, it finally worked on Jimmy because of all the genetic altering he had been through with all his different superhero identities. This DNA graft gave him not only the powers of a Kryptonian, but the memories of how to rebuild Krypton. So he created this whole alien invader propaganda and paranoia as an excuse to gather metahumans so he could experiment on them to create more Kryptonians so he could take over Earth. And as he's explaining all of this to Lewis, he gets news of the JLA breaking out of the alien facility. So he decides to take Lewis with him so she can see how powerful he is when he kills the JLA. We then cut to the Justice League fighting off the Liberators, and it turns out that they're only strong for a short amount of time before they begin to disintegrate due to exhaustion. Jimmy arrives and he starts dog walking the JLA, taunting them while he's beating the shit out of them, saying that he's so powerful now and that they should have let him join when they had the chance. So I guess one of the main reasons for him becoming evil was the fact that he got so butthurt that they didn't let him join the league. He then grabs Batman by the throat and traps Catwoman, but then Green Lantern supercharges Batman, which gives him enough power to hurt Jimmy. But it's not enough because he runs out of juice, and Jimmy then punches Batman into a farm. He starts wailing on Batman, about to kill him, but then an Amish farmer breaks it up, and he's dead. Just kidding, it's actually Superman. That's right, Superman was an Amish farmer this entire time. Jimmy realizes that he's Kal-El and tells him that he's Kryptonian, and that it's his destiny to take over Earth with him because they're basically Kryptonian brothers. But Superman disagrees. He wants to stop Jimmy, but his adoptive Amish parents are telling him not to, as it goes against the ways of the Amish. His parents try to pull him away while Jimmy is trying to recruit him. Finally, Jimmy gets tired of the back and forth, so he just fries Superman's parents with his heat vision, telling him to not be sad for their death as their primitive species. Angered by the death of his adoptive Amish parents, the two begin fighting. Damn, they really about to go crazy. Two Kryptonians going at it, Dragon Ball Z style. This shit gonna be Nope. It turns out that the DNA never fully grafted to Jimmy, so he begins disintegrating, just like all the other Liberators that he made. Well, that was anticlimactic. Oh, in perfect timing, the entire Green Lantern Corps decided to appear right after everything had been resolved. The Kents adopt Superman, and Batman resigns from the JLA. And that's the end of JLA The Nail. And I gotta say, as interesting as this storyline is, the pacing is so bad. I feel like it could have been way better if it was more focused and not all over the goddamn place. This was like a Smash Bros. Ultimate comic. It just had every single character ever just crammed into the storyline. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check it out by going to the links in the description. And don't forget, for a limited time only, new and returning players on PC and console who haven't played in 6 months will also receive an amazing bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account status. And that's the end of the video. This is probably the longest video I've ever made. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, because a lot of you guys don't want to subscribe for some reason. I mean, it's free. It's free, just click the button. I mean, how hard is it to just click the button if you enjoyed the video? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that hard. Did you forget to click the button or something? Like, it's right there. It's right there. Just click it. It's not even that hard, man. It's not even that hard.